So when I was starting out as a photographer, it was very difficult to select which type of lens I would use for shooting my projects. And my first option when I started out was the 50mm, the STM 50mm, which I still use to this day. I still have it with me. But since I'm using a Canon R6 and we have mirrorless cameras now, if I were to start photography now, the lens that I would go for would probably be this lens, which is the 35 f1.8 RF lens. And the reason why I would go for this lens is because of how versatile it is. I recently grabbed this lens and I was skeptical at first. I do shoot photos and video. In terms of the video side of things, it hasn't been that great in terms of how quick it focuses, especially when you're moving from the macro mode to like a wide open mode. You find that it takes a bit of time, but when it comes to the images, it's very versatile. And I wanted to share with you some of the first images that I captured with this lens when I bought it. So I bought it while I was in Dar es Salaam, and I made my way back to Arusha. So I'm going to share with you some of the images that I captured just before coming to Arusha, and then I just took it out for a walk and captured some additional images. You can let me know what you think about this lens. I think it's super versatile and would be the first lens I would grab if I was starting photography in 2023. So I'm here in Lightroom, and this is what the macro capabilities of this lens is able to do. Like, this is capturing my headphones very close up, and as you can see, let me just try to zoom in here. This is some of the details. Obviously, this is an edited image, so this is before. Here I added a little bit of grain. I can take that out so you can actually see the actual image. So this is how it would essentially look as a, and then when you zoom out, this is what you see. And with that 35 focal length, you get to see a bigger scene. So I'm able to get this close and this shot in one lens. That's insane. So in terms of like storytelling, you're able to really kind of like document the scenes, show the area as a 35 would generally do. So these were just some of the captures that I did. I am showing like a before and after, so you can actually see like how the lens actually functions. Very clean. I do like my images with a little bit of noise, maybe a lot, to kind of mimic that film grain effect. So this is before and after, and you can see just kind of capturing moments. Sunset here just before I take off, and then here as I take off, land. So just kind of documenting. So a 35 is definitely a great lens for lifestyle shots, travel shots, also portraits to a certain extent. So it's very versatile in that sense. When I used to capture a lot of wedding photos, I definitely had a 35 with me because it allowed me to capture some really, really beautiful quality images, and the blur that I was getting from a 1.4 lens was stunning. So it was definitely one of my favorite lenses in terms of versatility. This I did not edit, but you can see over here the quality of the lens. So this is totally zoomed in, but you can see kind of like the quality of the lens and what it's able to produce. You can see a little bit of blurriness. Maybe that was my era. I was shooting quite close, and even at a shutter speed of 200th of a second, I still got a little bit of blurriness, but I'm able to capture even more finer, sharper images. As you can see here, this is a shot of a rose. This is what you can get with the macro, so you really get up close and personal. Again, this is just an edited image, up close and personal, and you're able to really capture a wide variety of stories, right? So looking back, I think trying out a 35 millimeter would have been great, but the price point for a great 35 millimeter during when I started in 2011 is very different from now. You can easily get this for a fair price. I think I got this for about, here in Tanzanian shillings, 600,000, which converts to about $250, right? So that's quite a bargain to be able to get a macro lens. Image stabilization, so if you want to stabilize, shoot at a very low shutter speed, you're able to capture with this lens. And then also having that versatility of having a 35 millimeter focal range at an f1.8. Definitely would have loved to have this when I started out. So these are additional images that I captured, testing it out. These are edited, so you have before and after. As you can see, it's quite sharp. It's a sharp lens. Let's see some additional images here. Yeah, I'm happy with the purchase. Just in the film side, not super happy just because it's just a little bit slow. But in the photography side, you're able to capture this is a photo of my son's eye, and look at how close you can capture these images. You do get a little bit of chromatic aberration, but I'm not really, nitpicky when it comes to images. As you can see, I'm already kind of adding grain in my shots. I'm not really trying to get Okay, so this is the 35 millimeter f1.8 RF lens. What are your thoughts? Would you get this if you're starting out now as a photographer? If you've been shooting for a long period of time, what are your thoughts? Maybe this is something that you could be adding into your kit. I've shot for 12 years and I've been surprised by this little guy. All right, let me know your thoughts. That's today's video. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on another one. Take care.